This is a palm machine right here. Yeah. We're coming up with new methods of discipline here. Hi, Anel. How's it going? So before we get started with today's stream, I just wanted to show you something that's I haven't had the time to address in a while because it's been quite busy here, what with moving and lots of customers and COVID and doing the jobs of the people that weren't coming because of COVID and all this kind of stuff. But I got the microscope light situation settled. And I got another, so the microscope light is going to look better when I zoom in because I got the new light. But check this out. Watch this. You ready? Let's zoom in a little bit. Yeah, let's get something in view. What do you notice? You notice anything different? I'll wait. Do you notice anything? So this is at full zoom, 135 millimeters. Bang, 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 bang. And it's not doing the shaky, shaky, shaky crap anymore, which is pretty cool. Because I got a few toys here that I want to show you all. First thing that I got is this. It's a overhead thingamabob. This is a heavy-duty stand for a tripod. And the next thing that I got here are these two 5-pound sandbags that Paul recommended that I put on each side of this thing. So now I can zoom in all the way, and I can actually fit this in my office now because my office is not this fucking bathroom anymore. I can have the desk be 3 feet out from the wall so that I can fit the proper mount behind here, so that now when I show you stuff on the overhead camera, it doesn't go shaky, 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 shake anymore. Awesome. And we got the zoom light, so we're getting somewhere. So let's get started today on a MacBook Air that's not working properly. The first thing we're going to do is remove the coronavirus from this MacBook. I noticed you're still angry at JTAX. Always. Actually, I'm cleaning mostly dog hair from this. 5 extra feet of space in New York City, and you still claim you're not a millionaire. Yeah, I love it. I love it. So this office does give me the luxury of having space for stuff like this, and man, I like it. See, this is the overhead camera. This is the overhead camera that I used to use to show you stuff on my desk, and now when I adjust it, it doesn't shake anymore. Even if I tap the camera, it doesn't shake. Look at that. So let's clean this thing, because this is a dirty, 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 dirty MacBook. Let's see what's wrong with it. Man, this is so nice. I'm getting a working setup. I really am. I got myself a working SSD. I got myself a nice microscope light. All right, so here we've got the machine. And I can zoom, baby. I can zoom. Oh, this is so cool. I love it. Look at that. Look at that. I can zoom in on it. And when I zoom in on the computer to show you details, it just works. Look at that. Like it actually just works, not like a MacBook where they say it just works and then it dies for no reason because it's a piece of shit. But this over here is beautiful. I have zoom again. Look at this. This is so much more stable than it was at the old store too. I'm punching the table. I'm punching the table. I'm punching the table. And I could just punch the table all day long. I could punch the table until my knuckles break. And it's not shaky. I know. I shouldn't be this excited over the basics, but it's so cool. By the way, everybody, say hello to Kevin.
Stop being yellow tasty. Wait, he's smart. He's following me. He's following me. Fire! Oh God, was that long?
Kevin has returned to work today after about a 2-month hiatus. We all welcome Kevin back. We're happy that he's here because Kevin being back, little things like this, I mean, I have time to fix the stream. Do stuff like get a microscope light that isn't a piece of shit, or get an overhead camera that works. Okay. Ew. That looks like a piece of a bug over there. So the first thing we're going to do on this MacBook is the same thing we do on any MacBook. We're going to turn on the power supply, see what it's doing. So, the fan appears to be spinning. And if we take a look at the power usage, 500 milliamps. So this is turning on and working. So now I want to check the tickets and figure out why exactly it's here, because this does appear to be working. Just turn it off, turn it back on, and the dead bug just fell on my desk. God damn it. That's what I get for making fun of Twitch. So they say it doesn't power up. Totally dead. Maybe it's not dead, but it just has no backlight. Maybe. Maybe they think it's dead because it doesn't do anything on the screen. Let's see. And the backlight is 0 volts. Now here's where I start to get scared. Here's where I'm scared. I'm scared because there may be no 3 volts going to the screen either. And I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared. Yep, 0 volts going to the screen. Ugh. This is gonna suck. First thing I gotta do is brush that dead bug off my Ew. Ew, dead bugs. Alright, so I think this is bug shit over here. You know, I really don't want to take this computer apart anymore. Oh man, I think this is a Paul machine right here. You tell me what you guys think. I think this is either a dead bug or bug shit. Aren't you oh yeah, what is that? This is a Paul machine right here. Yeah. You know what? Here's what you get. Here's what you get. I'm going to zoom in on a squished dead bug. And you can just look at that right now. And I want you to think about this when you're eating tonight. Saying I long screwed my SSD. I want you to think about this. I want you to look at that. And when you're eating your Domino's pizza tonight, or your Thanksgiving turkey, or whatever the hell it is that you eat, tofu and rice, I want you to think about that little thing. I'd rather eat the bug than Domino's. You know, I'm almost there with you. I think I'll go vegetarian just for today, says Dirk. Ew. Ew, another piece of the bug just popped up. Oh, no. Oh, there's more. There's more. It's moving. Oh. This is why we wear gloves, folks. Corona is one thing, but this is another. I can tell which people have not been watching for a long time when they go, I guess he's wearing gloves for Corona. No! I'm wearing gloves because my customers are fucking disgusting and send me all this infested shit to work on. Which is fine. You know, I'll take your money. I'll take your money while wearing gloves. Maybe I'll ultrasonic your money a little bit. Oh God, no. Oh, I don't want to turn it over. What's it going to be on the other side? Oh, bug legs. I don't see any corrosion. I don't see anything obvious. Do you ever have the pleasure of telling your customers they're disgusting? I had to do that over the last weekend, actually. Yeah, this one guy brought in a machine that was unfortunately infested with cockroaches and little eggs, and I just told him, I said, I can't do this. And he goes, why? And I said, you know, I've had infestations from this before. We just moved. I just got rid of a cockroach infestation that was here. Cost me hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and I'm done. I don't want another cockroach infestation, man. Not for no fix, no fee on an A1466. It's like the max I get is $250 if I fix it. If I don't fix it, I don't get the $250, and I get the cockroach infestation. It's not, like, the risk reward isn't there. I think this board got killed by pure nastiness. So I'm just going to use the compressed air out front. This machine has dead bugs all over it. You want to not wear a mask, mofo? Yeah, Here. We're coming up with new methods of discipline here. Hi, Anel, how's it going?
Oh, you want my magic? Oh, is this a board you're gonna get to Paul?
No, this is, you're not wearing a mask and this board had dead bugs all over it. So.
Dude.
I have to blow this outside. Sorry. Sorry. Kind of curious if this thing is fixed by sheer virtue of it being less nasty now. Indeed, Chris Kelly. I don't know. Ask Amaranth. Amaranth would know the answer to that question. If anybody has tested that yet. Alright, let's see. Do we get 3 volts on the screen? That would be funny if we do. Nope. Now you may notice that this machine is supposed to turn on, off, and then on, right? The A203437, when disconnected from power, and then put on power for the first time with no battery, it's going to turn on, and then the fan turns off, then on, then off, then on, then off, and then on. But here, it's not doing that. You're not getting that RTC reset. You know how there's a lot of motherboards that have a battery on it? The battery is going to be on the board not just for settings, but also for the clock. It's going to remember what time it is. And if you take that battery out, it no longer remembers what time it is. Ew. So the same kind of concept goes here. Now, you may notice that the machine, when you turn it on and off with this model board, A203435 and A203437, is that when you turn it on and off, as long as the battery is not unplugged, it will turn on. But if you unplug the battery and then plug it in, or you plug the battery in for the first time, it'll turn on, off, on, off, on, off, on. So this tells me that the clock circuit is going to affect the behavior of the fan. And I'm going to use that here to try and fix this, the knowledge of that to fix this board. Because it's doing that, it's not doing on, off, on, off, on, off, on. So it makes me wonder, is there an issue with my clock? So let's take a look at the board view and schematic for an A20-3437. Now over here, U1900, that's my clock. And you need a working clock. So let's just take a look at what the clock chip looks like on this board. You know, see if we got something that we can look at and something usable here. And what do you know? When you take a look at the clock chip area, the first thing that comes to mind for me is that it looks kind of corroded. Now doesn't it? Corrosion. Wow. It's like almost like corrosion doesn't belong in a MacBook. And the sad thing is, what's causing this corrosion is most likely the poop of that bug. Because like this, you saw there was a bunch of little dead bugs and shit here. Ugh. Now you see how when I'm scraping here, this red stuff is coming out? That's board blood. This is board blood. So that's kind of... That means that's mostly rust, some board blood. Boards do bleed. I believe Biggie had a song about that in 1992. It's called Boards Bleed. So, you scrape, scrape, tie this into place. We're going to see what this stuff is going to in a moment. Okay, now if you take a look on the schematic and board view, you'll see that that probe point that's nasty is supposed to be attaching this capacitor to this part of the clock chip, and it seems like we have a break. So if you zoom in, which I'll be able to do now, check that out, look at that. I can zoom in all the way, and you still get a good picture. Look at that, that's beautiful. The link is broken. Totally broken. So what are we going to do about that? Well, reattach everything, right? Okay, so I'm really zoomed in here. I love my new toys. So I'm going to try soldering this. See, we have some European people in the chat today, so I'll try to be nice and pronounce solder with the L, that it doesn't belong there. But if you say it belongs there, it's okay. Wouldn't want to hurt your feelings now. Let's get started. So we clean the area up a little bit with some alcohol. First thing we do here is add some flux. See where it's not making connection? You see where it's broken? It's really, really hard to tell, but it's right here. Right at the end. The tip of the knife right there. I think that's too much HDR. Here, we're going to lower it a little. HDR kind of makes everything look a little washed out. It's not the end-all be-all that people make it out to be. So, we tin that cap. Now we do this. I'm actually going to turn the board around a little bit to make it more comfortable to work on. One thing that you should remember is that you need to be comfortable, not the board. So, I was like trying to really figure out how to make this put this on the desk in a manner where it's comfortable to work on, and I was, rearranging my iron and tweezers and all that, when in reality, just turning the board around was so easy. Because once you get into this mindset of trying to solve a problem, it's really easy to forget the basic, simple stuff, like, hey, it probably makes sense that you just turn the board around before you work on it. It's easy to forget this stuff when you're in the middle of trying to solve a really cool problem. So I'm going to go back to fixing this and fuck Twitch politics and all that. All right, so let's get this going. So I'm going to run my wire like this. Now I'm not just soldering it to the path, I'd also like to solder it to that crystal area, solder pad as well. Just so I get something that will more stand the test of time, you know? I want for a board that I fix to be able to be dropped off of the side of a building and still have, at least, the very least, the circuit that I worked on function. The rest of the machine can be destroyed, but the part that I worked on, I got some pride in, you know? But you don't want to make the wire too long so that the point that it's an antenna. Because it's easy to make the wire too long, and then it turns into an antenna, and then it messes with your clock chip, and then nothing works. A happy little sea of flux. Let's see, maybe a little bit of HDR. There you go. Okay, I'll keep the HDR on 1. I've never soldered. Is flux to the surrounding area is kept cool? No, flux helps solder flow. Alright, there we go. Now I'm going to wait for this to cool off a little bit, and once it's cooled off, it will be ready to be tested. So here's my board. Now I'm going to cool it off using what's called rapid cool technology. Rapid cool technology right there. Bam. Ah, shit. Okay, so the rapid cool technology is done. Now we're going to see if we get the expected behavior from this board. Now remember, the behavior that we expect from an 820-3437 when powered on is turn on, off, and then on. So it turns on, and then it turns off. And then it turns on, and then it turns off. And then it turns on. And it's good. And if I plug this in, you're going to see a picture on the screen. Or you're going to see a question mark folder. Actually, yeah, you'll see a question mark because I unplugged their SSD so I wouldn't corrupt the operating system. All right, as you can see, we now have a question mark folder, and the camera's focusing on it, the reflection of itself, which is kind of funny. Let's see. There we go. Manual. See that? It's working. And I could also do this now. See that? Look at that. Watch. I'm going to punch the death. Bam. No more shaky cam. Isn't it beautiful? I love it. Will you stock the 110 volt quick heating element on your website? Can't find it anywhere. I'm done stocking Quick stuff because Quick have been cunts to me as a company. So I'm not stocking their crap anymore. Fuck them. Fuck that whole concept that I wire them money and you ship my stuff a month later. Fuck them for only shipping stuff after I've asked them 3 times. Fuck them for giving my competitors a 10 to 20% discount when my videos put them on the map as far as being a competitive product to begin with. So no, once I run out of them, and I think I have 1 or 2 left, I am never selling a Quick thing again. They have, like, you have to understand how frustrating it is to say, okay, how many Quicks are in stock? Nothing. Then we email again. Oh, we'll check the warehouse. Email again. Okay, we'll check the warehouse. Email again, then we'll check the warehouse. Then they finally tell you. Then you email, then they say, okay, how much is it? We'll let you know. How much is it? We'll let you know. How much is it? A week later, we'll let you know. And they tell me how much it is. Then I say, hey, just ship it. Oh, no. Oh, crap. We haven't received proof of your order. And I say, yes, you did. I emailed it to you within a nice little attachment of the wire transfer last time. Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, we'll get this shipped 2 weeks later. Oh, yeah, we didn't know that you paid. It's like 2 fucking years straight. That's what it's like dealing with that company. Like, no, never again. I'm done with them. They have no concept of how to deal with customers. And it's... Anyway, let's go over what was going on with this board and why it wasn't working. So, when I opened it up, the first thing I noticed is that the owner of this machine is absolutely disgusting. Unfortunate reality of life, but a lot of the machines that we get are filled with bugs or bits of poop or cockroach eggs and all sorts of just gross things. That's why, again, I've been wearing gloves and cleaning these things off long before Corona because this is the reality of the job. But we open it up and it is turning on. It's taking its 500 to 600 milliamps. But even though it's taking its 500 to 600 milliamps, it's not actually activating the screen. So I noticed that it was turning on, but I didn't hear that dong, the MacBook chime. And then I went to check the 3 volts that goes to the screen. Because at first I saw there was no backlight. But then when I checked over here by the screen itself, if you look at J8300, J8300 is going to have on it, right here, it has backlight. But it has screen power. Down here, you're going to have 3.3 volts that goes to the LCD to power it on. And that was missing. And if you go back here, you'll see that that is sent to the screen once this chip gets EDP panel power, which is going to come from the CPU. So the machine was essentially brain dead. It was acting the way I would expect a desktop to work if you pulled out its BIOS chip and turned it on. If you take the BIOS out of your desktop PC and you expect it to turn on, it's just going to give you a blank screen. It's never going to post. This is doing the same thing it wasn't posting. The other thing I noticed is that the fan was spinning, but it wasn't doing what it usually does. On this model machine, if I unplug the battery, same as if I unplug the battery inside of a desktop computer motherboard, it's going to forget the time. But one of the things it also does when you do that is it'll turn on, then off, then on, then off, then on, then off, then on. So I figured, okay, well, the on-off, 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 on thing only happens when I unplug the battery or when I unplug everything and then try to turn it on for the first time when there's been no power. So I associate at this point that that fan turning on, off, and on thing is going to be associated with when the machine, something's going on with the clock circuit. So then I decide to look on the machine for the actual clock circuit, the RTC circuit, real-time clock, U1900. And then when I looked at this area, you see that there's corrosion. There was specifically corrosion between the part that is going to be going right up here on pin 4. So where pin 4 is going to attach to Y1905. So pin 4 is going to be a 25 megahertz clock, and that's going to be attaching to Y1905, which is a crystal. And then it seemed like that connection was broken by a piece of poop from a bug. Bug poop killed this MacBook. We reconnected it, and now it works, and now we have a happy little MacBook. So hopefully you understand what my troubleshooting process was. Now, to be clear, it's not written down anywhere. It's not like you get a book that says that it's a clock issue when the fan is spinning, blah, blah, blah. It's just something that you notice when you work on this machine over and over, which is why it's really important to be always observant and have an analytical mindset when you're doing this stuff. So it's just something that you're going to notice. When you turn the machine on, it just turns on. But when you're working on the board out of the case, the fan spins, and then it doesn't. And then it doesn't spin, and then it does. And then it does spin, and then it doesn't. And eventually, if you're actually paying attention to that little detail that's inconsequential every other time you fix the machine, you'll be able to recall that detail right now. And you'll also be able to take that detail and combine it with the fact that, oh, that always happens when the batteries unplug. Why? Oh, when I unplug my desktop PC, it loses the track of time. Why? Oh, when I unplug this machine from the battery and the charger, it loses track of time. Why? And you'll combine all that. So that's why when I looked over this board, the first area that I decided to look at was the clock chip area. You always need a hint, because if you don't have a hint, then this job becomes a complete and utter nightmare, because as you can see, an overhead camera that's no longer shaky anymore. I know, I'm just having too much fun with this. I could just bash my desk in and it just goes back to normal immediately. Love it. There's so many different components and pathways on this board that if you don't have a hint, you're screwed. So that's it for today. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye now.